Is there any evidence in the last couple of days that that final 105 at St. Francis might build confidence team-wide?
I'm not sure. I know it can help us, obviously. When we didn't win any of those last year, and to win one this year, was huge for us to have the ability to do that. But with that being said, we didn't play anywhere near we were capable of playing, and we put ourselves in that position. And obviously, we had to somehow find a way to win a game. But I think somewhere down the road that'll help us.
How have you been able to use the extra day or two that we talked about last week to get ready for this week?
Well, I think, one, it's kind of getting our guys. We had some guys, again, come out of that game with some bumps and bruises and gave them an opportunity to have a couple extra days to get ready. We got a couple that'll probably be, game time decisions. And, if we'd have played on Saturday, they would have never played this week. So, that for one. Two, as coaches, to have the ability to get an extra day to prep and, kind of get game plans. And then three, we got the extra practice day in, which is always helpful. So, it was, it worked out good the way it happened, but again, you'd hope we played better.
I know you guys approach every game the same, and you want them to approach every game the same. Do you notice any uptick in, intensity or anything once conference play kicks off or anything like that for you guys?
Yeah, I think so. I think we had a really good physical practice yesterday, and I think the guys understand that we're in conference play. But just because. Sometimes it's all right. It's CAA games, and if they just say it and don't do anything, then obviously it's no big deal. But I think our guys realize that we're getting ready to play a tough opponent, a physical opponent, and then a stretch of games that are going to be really tough.
We've seen this conference kind of sometime. I mean, a couple of years ago, Richmond finished 8-3, was a tri-champion, and didn't even make the playoffs. Just the importance of each of these games. Have you, in your experience in football, have you run across an FCS conference as tough and as grinding as the CAA gauntlet here?
No. I mean, obviously this league is really good, week in and week out, and you guys have seen it already this year. If you don't come with your best, you're going to get beat. It makes no difference which team it is in the league, and I mean, you better be ready to play. You better be ready to prepare to play, and if you don't, you'll lose. I mean, there's no question about that.
The third down conversion percentage isn't where you want it to be, obviously, at 27. Is that a function of first and second down and not being able to run the ball as well as you want?
Yeah, I mean, I think UVA had a lot. UVA, that was tough sledding there on third downs. They were good. I think this past week killed us. I mean, we were in way too many third and longs, and if you're in a bunch of third and longs, the percentages aren't real good. But again, we didn't hit on a third and one time, and it's just little things that. They got to get corrected, whether we didn't block it correctly or do something to convert. But 3rd and 10 or longer is really a hard deal for just about anybody. But we got to make sure that we're getting it in more manageable situations.
You hear some NFL players and coaches say that fourth game, this calendar will flip to October. They start to realize who they are, what they have. And that's when they even have preseason games. Is there something in college about the third or the fourth game without having preseason that you notice, all right, this team is getting this, they need time to get this, or we need to correct this and go in a different direction?
I think some ways that's true. As you start to get into your, into the fourth game, you kind of know what your team is. You kind of know where you are at that point in time, and you can tailor some things, do some things differently that maybe you thought were effective and they weren't. So, yeah, I think you kind of start to get a feel for where your team is about right now.
I can't remember the last time I saw a common non-conference opponent, especially something this early in the season. Do you look more at both of your games against Fordham than you might normally, or is it just two different days, two separate teams, or can you get something out of those games?
Well, I think you can if you feel like the breakdown is good, and if they're doing things that we're doing, and they did things that we do, and so you really use that, I think. But as far as you just never know. I mean, you can't say, well, they only won this and we won like this, so that means we're better. Matchups. I'm telling you, matchups are the big thing, and how you match up with an opponent, and and their skill set and your skill set is huge. And just because we won 52-7 and they only won 28-6, that has no bearing, because they were at Fordham, obviously. We were at home, so there's a lot of variables there. But obviously, if the breakdown, they could play a team that really is not similar to us, whether it's offensively or defensively, and then you still throw it out. But obviously Fordham was a good one for us to use.